Hey there, Chad here. Thanks for joining me. This is Rising Star 2, and the band is Inches from Glory. It is named after a band in the St. Louis area that I admire, and we are going to go and do some busking and continue the grind, I suppose. We're almost done with the grind, though. That's a good thing. And we've had a chance to talk about some different things that if you're new to the game are very important for your playthrough. So, it's not wasted time exactly. Kiwi didn't busk. And I would bet that's because her equipment is damaged at this point. So we need to go to a music store and get some things repaired. That'd be my guess. That also means that, whoops, I turned the wrong way because oh, well, no, this is fine. Isn't it? Yeah, there we go. Lily's Deluxe. That'll work. That will mean that she will be a point behind the other folks in playing. She's at 12. He's at 13, 13, 13, 13. So that'll be one extra day of busking, unfortunately, but that's okay. Let's go look at repair equipment. Yep, her grandpa's synth is kaput. Let's go ahead and refurbish it. And it should now be at 100%, which is great. If we want to repair everything, absolutely everything, $489. That actually is quite a bit. But what we will do, I mean, compared to what we have, it's quite a bit. It's not very much at all in the grand scheme, but yeah, but we're going to repair these busking instruments. Now, repair and refurbish. Let's talk about those really quickly. Repair puts the first number equal to the second number. That's what it does. Refurbish puts the second number to 100. And I believe, let's see if we can find one that's not going to break the bank. Here's one. So Grandpa's Bass Natural, it only needs 14 points. If I refurbish this, it should go up to 100 over 100. There we go. And you see it disappears because it is no longer under a condition of 100, and that's why it's gone. And if we come out here and look, there it is, 100 over 100. And we could sell it for $184. Well, we just repaired it for that much practically, right? So we're not going to sell it. Nonetheless, let's take a quick look. Does he have... I usually, anytime I'm in one of the stores, I tend to look at things like strings and the consumables. I call them the consumables. That is strings, drumsticks, and drum heads. And we basically want to make sure that we don't run out. Kiwi does not need any consumables. She's really, well, I guess Xavier also. No consumables for him either. So that's kind of a good thing. He has a great microphone. We already saw that. 9 stage presence, 5 writing, 7 playing. He's got a fantastic instrument. Angel does use guitar strings, so we want to kind of flip through here, make sure we're not missing out on anything there. She could do some a little bit better music writing. Might want to grab those. We have a little bit of cash. That might even be a little better, and they're $1 cheaper. Let's grab some of those reds. I should have waited for the black beauties. Nope, we're okay. We made the right decision there. And here's some strings that would be helpful for playing. Are there any that are +3? Was that a +3? Yeah, that's a +3. We'll buy a couple of those for now too. So this tells you what they're playing, using that particular thing for. It can be strings, it can be a guitar, it can be an amp. And what they stand for is busking is the open case, and they only have one thing that can do that. It's their main instrument. And it's the acoustic version of it, basically. Then these other 3 cymbals. This is for songwriting, so she will use this guitar for songwriting. She will also use this guitar for music writing. For practicing. And she will also use this guitar for performing. That's what the 3 icons mean. This is writing music, practicing or playing music, and then performing music. That's what they're for. We do want to look at drumsticks and drum heads real quick. And I feel like drum heads, you just go through them, it feels like. And I do usually start at the top because you tend to get better bonuses at the top as you work your way down. Not always, though. Every once in a while, the second one will be sneaky, and it'll be like a +3. And it's the best one in the stack. We'll go ahead and grab one of these. We don't want to spend every last dime we have. So there we have it. We will be mowing a lawn soon though. So there is that. And it is a Saturday. We could go and catch a show. It'll cost us 120 bucks. That is going to make us very cash poor, but it's also not the worst idea. Hitting shows is kind of an important part of what we're going to be doing. I think it wouldn't hurt to go, let's go to the Phoenix. So I'm just going to mark it by clicking on something on the map. You can mark it so that you get the instructions on where it's at. It's not exactly GPS, but it'll get you there. There we go. And I believe this is going to be one of the lower end places.
Hi, welcome.
Yeah, capacity of 50. This is a low tier.
Band is awesome.
Well, very good. And we can talk to her and oh, look at that. There are opening slots and headlining slots. So this opening slot probably, oh, it's a 9-song slot and we would get paid 30 bucks. Not bad. I mean, considering we literally have no reputation here, that's not so bad. The headlining slot is 12 songs. It would pay 60 bucks. There's a battle of the bands. You don't get paid for those, but you can win a lot of money. That is our goal. I like to win as many of these as I can. I think there's a theoretical maximum to how many you can win. It's probably like 16 because of how they stack with how you can plan for them. What is it? How you can do the gig. Boy, words are suddenly falling out of my head. You can only schedule one per venue, and they only happen on Fridays and Saturdays. And the venues' schedules are not endless. They usually go about a month out. So about six to 8 weeks usually is what you'll max out at. So if all the stars align, you can probably set it up so you have bands for up to 8 bands, battles of the bands on a Friday and Saturday every week for 6 to 8 weeks. So you can maybe get to like 16 of those. Well, our next gig isn't happening yet. We're still practicing. Thank you for asking. And we're going to go watch a show. Adjustment in the lock. Okay. Fair enough. We will change some of these band names in the very near future. Everybody got a couple of song ideas. That's always good. A little bit of reputation. Now, if we go look at our reputation in St. Louis, it should be a little higher than it was before. Reputation. Yeah, it's up to 1.2. It's effectively an average, I believe, of all your scores with all the different places. I think that's how it works. We're going to go ahead and go home. We are going to merge and practice. And we're going to do that a few more times. Merge. We're kind of getting through the reds now. That's good. On to some blues. Nope, not that one. This is where my eyes start to play tricks on me. Everything looks like it's wiggling or nothing does. Oops, we're out of points. I can't do that now. I can do threes. If I can find some threes to do, that would be perfect. We could also do 3 sets of ones, but let's go for some threes. There we go. You know what? I don't know that we have had many outcast. Let's do that. Okay, that's it. And now we're going to practice. Just straight up practice. Actually, let's just practice those 4, get them kind of closing in a little bit. And there's the weekly autosave. So we got 5 points out of that. So we're getting 20 points now. That's good. And we saved a couple of points that would have gotten otherwise split off. So not a bad deal. We're going to come out here. And now what we're going to see is if you look at the map, you can kind of tell already this is no longer mowed. So when we come over here, we have to mow it before we can busk again. So today is going to be a mowing day, $250 in our pocket, which we absolutely need, but we don't get to busk. So we still have about another week of busking. And then we're going to go home and we're going to do what we did last night. So this is where once you're into the rhythm and you're not actually talking on a microphone about it, you can kind of fly through this first month really, really quickly. It's very do these 3 things kind of event over and over and over for 20 times. And, you know, it can go by very quickly. starting to get to the point where I will start bouncing numbers upwards when I get, I call it a bounce. When I do this and there's another one that lines up with it immediately, I'll go ahead and run the second one. And I'll do that until I can't match them anymore, instead of going just for a specific value like I'm kind of doing now with the ones. We've done it a few times already. So this would be when I could bounce. If I had one more point, I could just immediately bump this one up again, but I can't. So there's a couple of different ways you might need to plan it out so that you can maximize your point use. The worst thing is having 100 points and spending 70, or not 70, but 50, merging two 25s into a 30 and then into a 35, and then doing a 1 so that you've done 2 and now not being able to merge anything because the only thing left is another pair of 25s. You do want to be mindful of that. It will happen. And I'm probably making it sound way more complicated than it actually is. You just can't do it today. You end up having to do it the next day. Let's go ahead and let's just do 3 and let's see how many points we're getting now. So we got 21 points. That's good. So 3 is a good number. 4 would be too many. We'll start losing things at that point. Oh, let's look at the city guide. It is possible. Yeah. So the bigger events, the bigger venues rather, are now starting to have events. These are mid-tier. I'm sorry, these are higher tier venues, and they will have stuff on nights other than Friday and Saturday. And so we can start going to midweek stuff. The thing is that are more expensive. You also don't earn reputation for those, but you do potentially, I'm not sure that you always get to meet the band in that, but sometimes you do, and you can earn some favor with the bands that way. They always can lead to not innovation, inspiration. And pretty soon we'll be busking and making over $100 per shot. I mean, this one's 95. That's pretty good. Going to go to Chad here. Let's go ahead and add a point there, and then we're going to go 1, 2, 1, 2. We're going to start to try to just fly through this. Honestly, the slow part is this, merging these. And when you're only merging ones, because that's what I was doing last time, it takes a while. We're already down to 5 points this time. So this one's going to go a little quicker. There we go. We're done there. Practice. We'll go ahead and practice. Let's practice the other 3. There we go. Should go up to 69. It went up to 69. 21 points total. Out the door. Across the street. Rinse. Cycle, repeat, right? There we go. Rinse, spin, repeat. I guess that's what it is. Last time we got $95. This time we're getting $100. We broke $100 on a busking gig. That's good. All right. So Topher here. Still want to go with some of these points. We're going to start slowing that down, particularly once we get to playing. We'll really slow it down. We'll start dumping his points into there. But for now, I think we're going to go ahead and hit all 3 of those again. Home, merge, practice. We can merge these into potentially a 20 or a 15. And they can go to a 20 though. They sometimes will. But now we have some 15 parts. That's pretty good. And that's it for our merge points. And we're going to practice. We'll do the same 3 this time. And we got 8 points each that time. And Lewis Settles the Comparison is getting to the point where we might actually be comfortable playing it in front of a crowd. I would think that very soon we will have another one of those triple days. We want to do our best to maximize those when we have them. nobody levels today, but that's okay. We're up to $800 again. That's good. Now, something else that will happen, your members will get sick. Or if you are not on the easy mode and you drive your van into a wall, they will get injured and you have to take them to the hospital, and that is very expensive. So that's something to consider. Theoretically, they can die. I haven't seen it happen. I haven't heard of anybody seeing it happen, but theoretically it can. And you can certainly cause that to happen if somebody's health is going down. They have a health stat. It's at 100 usually. You start driving that down, you could certainly find a way to send them to their demise, and that would be too bad. The amount of healing they need dictates how much it costs, and it can be expensive. You can spend $1,000 healing somebody sometimes. Okay, there's that. Practice. Let's do the other three this time. Just going to flip it. Should be going up to at least 23. There it is. Crossing the street. And I think we're going to skip going to any shows this weekend. We're just going to try to fly through this. Going to head home. Same process. Notice that our popularity is going up more. It went up 0.05 that time. Xavier has some sixes to mix. That's good. Not enough points. Wasn't paying attention. There we go. Ones. More ones. And more practice. Is it still 8? Go to 31? Yep, just 8 still. It is a Friday. We could go to a show. I'll tell you what, if we break $100, we'll hit a show. That's what my deal is with the rest of the band. As the band leader, that's what I'm telling them. And 122. Well, that's going to pay for the whole show. We made $2 today after that. So we're going to go to City Guide. Let's find one we haven't been to yet. Oh, I want to do... Let's do Charlie Shed. We'll head up that way. Now, eventually, we don't have to drive to places. We can pay a chauffeur to take us when we have a manager that becomes available to us. We won't have a manager for a while, but it isn't that far off. Usually what I will do is once I start winning some band competitions, I'll start looking for the right manager for the group. Your manager gains levels just like you do from using him. And here's a place that's willing to have us come in for $27 next week and play 6 songs. You know, we could almost do that. Playing a song does drive up your play skill on it. And we are starting to get to where we won't entirely embarrass ourselves. So maybe let's go ahead and give it a few more days and see where we land.
I'd like to see your band up there.
Well, thank you. And we will be up there soon enough. But for today, let's just do this. Also, the reputation will help us get more money. So by going to the show and then coming back and scheduling something, technically it should be worth a little more to us. And that was that. Everybody got some ideas? Happiness. Yay. I think we should talk about happiness real quick. It's one of the stats you have over here. Here's health. We talked about it. It's 100. Happiness, ego. Ego determines how important the band member needs to feel inside the group. If you keep everything balanced, I think usually it just sits at 50 and nothing ever happens. And that's not the worst thing. Happiness is a little bit different. Happiness relates to their attitudes to other folks in the band. You want it to be all green as much as possible. And so what keeps it from being green? It's extremely simple. The thing that keeps it from being green, these attitudes. If they have opposite attitudes, so digital's opposite is, I can't even remember right now. Digital's is unplugged. So digital versus unplugged. So if Topher has digital and Angel has unplugged, their happinesses will start to go down. And if it goes down enough, they'll leave the band. I don't want anybody to leave the band. I don't want anybody to die. I don't want anybody to get arrested and not be able to continue with the band. Those are all bad outcomes. You might have to cut somebody loose sometimes, and that's okay. But I definitely don't want to have to do that at this point. When you're higher level and you have to bring in a new band member, it can take a very long time to get things back on track. And the reason is your new band members start at a low level. I think they might start as high as like 5. So if you have 35 level members, I think they can go up that high. Yeah, they can go way up. You're bringing in somebody whose skill is way, way lower. It brings all your averages down. They can't even play the songs. It can be really rough. Time to merge. And there does tend to be a snowball effect with getting the bigger numbers. You always start with all these ones. You got to keep merging them. Then all of a sudden you have these 10s. And boom, now you have 15s. So just continue to play the long game. We're going to go ahead and practice everything again. Let's see what we're getting for points. Today's the Shady Awards. We're not going to watch them today. The Busy Moon. We have a gig coming up that we thought you might be interested in playing with us. So this is one of the effects of going and seeing other bands. They start to call you and say, hey, come play with us. In this case, it is next Friday. It is 6 songs at the Blue Strawberry here in St. Louis. You know what? Let's go ahead and say yes. Our popularity is below 2. We are not really ready to play these songs. None of them. We want them at least 90 really before we play them. You can play them anytime. The audience just will hate them is what it comes down to. But we'll have enough that we can work with that this should be okay. So we will have our first gig next week, folks. Sorry, I was losing track of where I'm at right now. So to the Shady Awards are today. We're going to skip that. And instead, we're going to go busk. I guess instead isn't exactly right. It isn't an either or. You can watch the Shady Awards anytime during the day of the 20. I think it's always on the 21st. But today, we're just going to go home. And we are going to practice. Merge and practice. We're getting really close to that 20-point limit. In fact, one more day of that, 2 for Kiwi, and we're done with the grind. Yay! Grind's almost over, folks. I think we'll finish this episode with the end of the grind, so it'll be just a little bit longer than maybe it needs to be. And there, we have some ones right there. Perfect. And now we're going to go practice. Let's just practice, I don't know, let's just practice 2 songs this time. See where we're at with points. We know we're not going to be at 40. Not bad, 14, so 28 points now. And this is the band with the brick. They want us to play on the following Friday, 6 songs. And we might be one of the higher drawing bands because these guys have no reputation or popularity at all locally. We at least have some from doing the busking we've been doing. Let's go ahead and say yes to that too. Okay, it's Friday. We're going to go busk. We only have to busk 2 more times. And then what we'll probably do for a while is go mow lawns. Lawn mowing tends to be the best way to make money. But you can only do each one every 2 weeks, and there's only a handful of parks in every city. And generally only one cemetery. Okay, we got some levelers. Angel levels, we'll give her a lyric, and we'll see that tomorrow her score won't go up. Maybe it will go up just the one more time. And if that's the case, Kiwi will want to go with 2 more days. Well, and everybody has to go. You can't split them out. It's not like I can just send Kiwi. Business. You know what? Let's get a little more money on those gig attempts that we're doing. So we're gonna drive his all the way up. merge ideas. Up to 41 points. That's really good. That wasn't so bad. Some sixes. Down to 3 points. We can only merge a 1. Okay, there's that. Practice. This song is now maxed out. We don't need to practice it anymore for now. It will atrophy after about a week. It'll start to drop again, but for now, it's done. It's ready to go. It's maxed out for us. That is a good thing. Okay, so here's the, we'll see what happens here. I think everybody except Kiwi will not get a play point. We'll know in just a moment. And the reason that's important is it marks the end of the grind. We can start to do some other stuff. Yep, just Kiwi got the 1 point, and now it is done. So she should now have 20, just like everybody else. 20, 20, 20, 20, 20. Everybody's got 20. And what I typically do is once this isn't going to go up anymore, I just start dumping all their points into it for a while. So we're just going to do that. Boom. A lot of times, well, okay. Sometimes I will also maybe hit this once or twice and then dump all their points into it. But for the next level or two, playing is really the most important thing for us. Then we're going to want to start focusing on some of the other stuff as well, particularly stage presence. That does end the grind, though. We don't have to do the busk thing every day. We could stay home and just merge ideas and then practice and then merge ideas. Or, because we are pretty poor still, we can go and mow some lawns, and I think that's what we'll do this time. We'll go mow the cemetery. It's pretty close by. It won't take too long. And we'll get $350 instead of $250. Okay, done merging, and we're going to practice. And we'll only practice the songs that need it. 6 times 5, we're getting 30 points now. Okay, the cemetery is all the way down in the corner, close to the corner. The St. Louis map is 6 by 6. All the maps are square. And with regards to the cemetery, you always enter at the bottom of the cross, which is pretty much always the south side of the cemetery. So we just pull in right to there. And as you see, it says, you don't know anyone buried at the cemetery. That's interesting. If you look at the statistics, there is something here about, if you look, musicians died. How many musicians have died that have worked for us? So yeah, apparently it can happen. Nonetheless, we're going to landscape. We're going to collect our $350 and then we're going to go home. We are starting, actually, we're not going to go home. Let's do one other thing today. And then we'll officially mark the end of the grind. With the end of the episode. That's what I'm trying to get to. I was trying to remember where I need to go. I need to go to a print shop. Here's what we want to do. We've got a little bit of money now. We want to have some shirts. Well, first you have to design a shirt. And this is the basic design. We can do a lot of stuff here. You can add some images. You can even add your own images. We can import things into our photo album. Basically, you just go and find JPEGs or PNGs, and you can bring them in and drop them in here. And that's fantastic. You can use those images, but they also have some graphics that you can use. And then also there's this photo. You can go to there are photography shops in the cities, and you can go and take photos of your band. It's kind of some preset poses and things like that. But there's different backgrounds, different lighting, different camera angles, things like that you can do. You can take those photos and then you can use those as well, which is pretty cool. So for now, we just want a really basic shirt. And in all honesty, I think what I want to do is white shirt. Okay. black lettering, white shirt. That's what I want to do. And there's a reason. And I'm not going to go into it too much, but you see, we can do a lot of stuff with this. We can tilt it. I'm not sure which way you want to go with it. I guess maybe that way. Make it a little bigger. We can add a border to it. I don't want to do a border. Chain might be okay. And we maybe want to give that common color. And then we can move it. Want to move it to the bottom. Let's do that. It's not awesome. It's more awesome than it has to be, if you ask me, with all the things you can actually do with it. And I've seen where some folks have done some really creative things with it. You can add multiple layers rather. We could add more text. We could change the font of the text. I actually kind of like the one we've got here, which is font number 1. There's a few that I like a whole lot. That one isn't so bad. And there's some that I would never use. Let's go with that one, actually. That looks like fun. So we're going to go with that. Now what we're going to do is we're going to buy this t-shirt design for $200. If we wanted to work on it more later, we could just hit save and then mess with it. But this is a good option too. And are you sure you want to buy a shirt of this design? Yes. Yes, I am. And we're going to call it IFG1. It's the first one we're doing. Done. The other thing we want to do is we want to have a gig banner. Now at the shows we've gone to, we've seen where the bands have banners behind them. We can do that too. And we can add a graphic. And this time we can add, I don't know, a dragon. We'll put this dragon on there. And we'll make him red. He's a red dragon. Folks, in case you're not aware, I am colorblind. I have a lot of trouble figuring out if it's red or burgundy or an off green or something like that. My biggest fear is it's pink and I think it's red. That can happen too, but ultimately what we'll do is shrink this guy down, move him to the top, rotate him a little bit. There we go. And we now have a banner that we can do, and it will cost us $200 for the banner. Good thing we have a little money. Now the banner is a one-time fee. You pay it, and now we can start using the banner immediately. T-shirts, we actually have to stock T-shirts. That's kind of interesting too. This will be Inches from Glory banner 1. And it's basically just the basic banner is what it is. So let's go buy some band T-shirts. Band shirts cost $5 each. You have to buy at least 30. We can afford, at $5 each, we could really afford to buy 100. So we're going to go ahead and do that. It's a lot of money, but we will sell them and make a profit in the long run. So we're going to come out here. Let's go home real quick. And then let's look at our merch. So we come in here and we have band t-shirt designs, and it allows us to see all the different designs we have. He now allows up to 1,000 designs. Used to be like 30. Now we can do 1,000. And then we can set the price that we're selling them for. And I used to just go ahead and leave it at 12. I didn't think much of it. It's a good profit margin. Somebody pointed out that the shirts may act as advertising. And they suggested dropping the price, selling more shirts, becoming more popular more quickly. I'm going to go with that theory that maybe that works. We're going to drop the price to $8. So for every shirt we sell, we will make $3. And when we sell all 100, we'll have made $300. That's great. That's money in our pocket. There you go. We now have some shirts, and we have some shirts to sell. Let's see. We have finished the grind. We can start to do other fun stuff. We do have some gigs scheduled. We'll want to start messing with that. I think next we're going to want to, I do like to finish the day as opposed to, I like to end the game, save the game in the morning. So what we're going to do here is we'll real quick merge some of these, and then we're going to write one more song, and we're going to make it a blues song, or a low energy song is what that is. And there's some 3s. I picked lyrics because you always can merge lyrics. Came down here for a reason. Let's see, are there some 3s down here? I'm not seeing any. There's one. Okay, that's it. Now we're going to construct a song. Best song we can make right now. 15 digital is what, wow, all of them are digital. Okay. That's not typical, but I guess it does happen now and again. Look at that. We're up to 35 and we have one piece to add. Incidentally, you can not add lyrics and make an instrumental. You just don't get any quality points for that piece. And so that's something to consider. But there we go. A quality song of 35. It's going to be a blue song. And we're going to do this. Daryl's player. Let's do something different. They amaze at the lobby. Something's a zoo to emerge. Anyone bets Raymond. High-pitched mouths to hurt. You could click this forever and keep getting different things. It will not duplicate song names. I do like that. Okay, we'll do this one. And again, we'll change names of songs as we see fit once we're kind of at the point where it's more likely we will keep them than not. There we have it. We're going to go ahead and save at this point, and we will pick up the next episode right about here. I do want to thank you for your time. And this is Rising Star 2 with the band Inches from Glory. Looking forward to being done with the grind now and moving forward with the rest of gameplay. Hope to see you in the next one. Thanks and fair travels.